Time around the league we go. In 3 weeks, the question in Dallas has gone from how much are they going to pay Dak Prescott to how much can they pay Dak Prescott? He's second in the league in touchdowns. He's completing 75% of his passes. He leads the league in QBR, but he isn't worried about his new deal.
The reason we're having contract talks is because of what I do on the field. So that's the main focus, and that's my focus in everything I do. I mean, talk about the ads, the marketing, and all this stuff. I know realistically none of that happens if I'm not handling my business on the field. So for me, it's about taking care of that.
Handling his business, he most certainly is. Ultimately, you're judged on winning. Prescott has won 35 times since he came into the league. That's the second most wins by a quarterback in that span. Only Tom Brady has more. And I'm just going to lay this out for those of you. We have such interesting meetings on Friday mornings with this group. Mark Sanchez is ready to fight anybody who says a bad word about Dak Prescott. You are all in on Prescott.
All in. I love the answer. I love his focus. I love exactly what he said. He means it. He works his butt off. He's finally going to sign the big deal that he deserves. Say something, Vilma. I know it's coming. Go ahead. Say something, Vilma.
Is anybody here not on the Dak Prescott bandwagon?
As far as getting paid, I'm on the bandwagon. I believe he will be the highest paid quarterback at some point.
That's a timing thing.
It's a timing thing.
Okay, fine.
But we're talking about one of the best quarterbacks? No. Flat no. And I'll tell you why.
Well, where do you have Dak Prescott, first off? Where do you have him?
I have him either outside the top 10 or 9 or 10.
Give me
outside the top 10, Dak, turn off your TV. I'm sorry. I'm uncomfortable.
Please don't.
No.
Having said that, rule number one, and Mark, never
Don't
ask anyone to turn off the TV. Whatever you do,
everyone has to
it's
say
my
someone
third
call
day.
Dak,
Fourth
tell him to
day.
turn on the TV. That said, all kidding aside, what is it that you question about him?
So, to Mark's point about the stats, which are all misleading, what I haven't seen from Dak Prescott I have seen from a Drew Brees, what I have seen from a Tom Brady, what I have seen from even Phillip Rivers, they carried their offense when they didn't have the best players on that team, right? So when Zeke Elliott wasn't there, what happened with Dak Prescott? How average did he become as a quarterback? And again, I'm not knocking him. I think he's a good quarterback. But there's not been a time where anybody lined up with Dak Prescott as the only weapon and said, oh, man, we're scared. Here we go.
He's not in the personnel department. But
he's
not signing these guys.
I'm talking about
he
if I'm game
plays
planning.
with who he has.
I'm talking if we're game planning and I sit there with my defensive coordinator and I'm watching the film and it's just Dak Prescott, I am not concerned. If it's just Aaron Rodgers, I am concerned.
Exactly. When you look at that as a defensive player, that's why I don't put him as a top 5 quarterback. The problem that I have is how you judge quarterbacks, at least how I do.
Yep.
They're good in the red zone. He's top 5 guy. When you look at him in 2-minute situations, he does a great job. Against the blitz, he's one of the best. Against third down, he's one of the best.
Wait, you're confusing me, Bobby. You're confusing me.
There's a but. There's a but.
But to Vilma's point, when I start looking at him, when he didn't have Zeke for 6 games, he struggled. And the best thing that happened to him is they got the deal done with Zeke. He didn't hold out. So now we don't have to worry about that. And Dak doesn't have to worry about that.
Yes, but y'all are talking about a whole bunch of hypotheticals, JV. When he didn't have Zeke, when he didn't have Amari, well, right now he has Zeke. Right now he has Amari, and right now the Cowboys
Not
are really
only
good.
that, but in fairness, when he didn't have Zeke, it was the beginning of his second year as an NFL quarterback. We can't really compare him to Tom Brady and Drew Brees
20-year
at that
players.
point. Let's see what winds up happening one way or another. They have interesting back-to-back tests. The Cowboys get New Orleans this week, then they get Green Bay, and Green Bay is going to be well-rested and ready. Things that started